Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Welcome to Vick on the Mic. Lots of news and stories to break down, including the NFL draft and the Packers making one of the biggest surprise moves of round one. And after serving up Leonard Fournette on an offering table with no takers, the team appears set to move forward with their star running back. But first we begin with breaking news from the NCAA, the top governing body announcing that it will now allow and support a rule change allowing student athletes to begin profiting from their name, likeness, and image so long as the university or college doesn't pay them directly. The NCAA Board of Governors announced Wednesday that it is willing to allow student athletes to receive compensation for third-party endorsements. This would include things like social media and personal appearances, as well as any businesses that they start. Though this is just a recommendation from the board, it's a big step in what has been a hotly debated topic for years, as outside pressure from state, local, and even federal officials has been bubbling over. Well, with all the pre-draft chatter about teams open for business, it came as a bit of a surprise that there were no trades among the first 12 picks in round one of Thursday's first ever virtual NFL draft. But the biggest surprise of the night is what the Green Bay Packers did, trading up 4 spots to number 26 to draft quarterback Jordan Love. Of course, we all know the story that unfolded 15 years ago. Rodgers, whom many thought might go number 1, was just sitting there at 24 for the Packers. The Packers fans didn't like it, Brett Favre obviously didn't like it, and Rodgers sat for 3 years before eventually becoming the starter. The difference is the Packers traded up to get a quarterback, which isn't going to push Rodgers for the job anytime soon, when they could have drafted key need positions. Rodgers is a year and a half into a 4-year, $134 million contract that he signed back in 2018, which, oh by the way, was the richest deal at the time. The Packers were 13-3 last year under new head coach Matt LaFleur, one win away from a Super Bowl. LaFleur and Rodgers seemed to click when many questioned whether bringing in a young, unproven coach would even work. And instead of drafting Rodgers any help, not even one wide receiver in the entire draft, they drafted his future replacement in the first round. And with that, I'd like to welcome in Joe Buck on the phone. Joe, you're as close to the game as anyone each week. In hindsight, was this a good move by the Green Bay Packers?
I don't know. I don't think you can assess, at least from the outside, the Green Bay Packers situation and go, that was the necessary move, unless this guy's just unreal. And I can't speak to that. I have no idea. If he's a once-in-a-generation talent, then obviously if you believe that, then you go get him. But if he's not, if he's short of that, then I don't know what you're doing when you got a team that was in the NFC Championship game a year ago and won 13 games. That just doesn't make sense to me.
But Joe, if you're the Green Bay Packers, you're one game away from going to the Super Bowl last year. Do you think that spending a first rounder would be more appropriate on, say, a receiver or some offensive line help or something that says, hey, Aaron Rodgers, you're our guy for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, there are a lot of personalities involved, and who knows what goes on behind the scenes. And if he does play, then where's Aaron Rodgers? And I mean, he's still one of the main stars of the league, and is still a guy that can shred a defense. Just give him a chance with adding to what they have weapons-wise. So that was shocking to me.
Granted, Rodgers is 36, but still plays at an elite level. It'll be interesting to see how this affects his attitude towards the organization, not to mention what this may say about his future in Green Bay. Always a pleasure. Thanks, Joe.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, speaking of futures, last week it seemed likely that Leonard Fournette wouldn't be in Jacksonville after it was reported the Jaguars were looking for trade partners during the draft week. The former 4th overall pick is coming off his best year as a pro, rushing for more than 1,100 yards. He also led the Jaguars in receptions with 76. With the Jaguars in what some are calling a complete character rebuild, Fournette appears to have an expiration date with the team after they declined to pick up his 5th-year option. But GM David Caldwell said just yesterday the team is planning to move forward with Fournette as they head into next year. Character rebuild, salary dump, call it what you want, but as we take a look here, some big names have been offloaded. Star cornerback Jalen Ramsey headlining that group after being traded to the Rams before last season's trade deadline. Most notably, free agent quarterback Nick Foles. He just signed an $88 million deal last offseason. He's gone, traded to the Bears. And the Jags overhaul may not even be done. Coveted defensive end Yannick Ngakoue has also been very vocal about wanting out of Jacksonville, even though he's still under contract. Ramsey, Fournette, and Ngakoue, all with elite talent, all just 25 years old. Well, when we come back, Gronk Beach is headed to Tampa Bay. Does this make the Bucs the clear-cut Super Bowl favorite? Vegas has spoken. Next on Vick on the Mic.